Real quick before we do recap and all that, we are down a bloody faster. She's not feeling super well today, so send her your love, please, and thank you. If you notice MK in the background munching on something or thinking to herself, pay no mind. It's probably not a poisonous mushroom. She'll probably be fine.
Faye has volunteered to roll for it to determine if it is a bloody mushroom.
I will absolutely roll for her.
Bloody may have specifically requested that Faye not roll for her
We'll take turns.
this episode.
We could take turns.
So, the chat already said no before I even said that. Sorry, Faye.
Come on, why not?
It's like you have a reputation or something.
I'd just like to point out the warm-up roll to the chat right there.
No, don't point it out.
Yeah, about that. They'll be fine today. What could go wrong?
You know, maybe if I end up like ever having this character tragically die, or if I end up on any other campaign ever on Tablestory, like I'll maybe actually roll more than 120 in a campaign, you know?
Forever, Chris.
Maybe?
Sorry.
Forever.
That's the way that it works.
Yeah, so
Maybe?
So here's the thing. We'll just keep inviting you back to shows because we need some people to not roll well so it balances out others. So you might just be a permanent cast member for like once a season, whatever show it is. Sorry.
I'm
Luck
down.
void. You can be the luck void.
You can't have players like Frank in the first few episodes. He was in here rolling multiple 20s a session without someone like Faye to balance it out.
And I would like to
Right.
add that she was talking junk last session and I rolled a 20 again.
You also did, I think, fall down at one point too.
I
but
did. I actually rolled a 1
did
last
that too.
time as well. I didn't want her to feel lonely, you know?
No,
She's my
yeah,
bestie. I got to roll a 1 with her. And then 20 her.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I got to stop smiling at Manasa.
Oh yeah, that's right. We're mad.
I'm mad at you. Well,
Yeah, the sass.
with all of that, why don't we just go around real quick? Who's your character? Who are you, I guess? And then we'll do a quick recap. So you remember what happened last time? Well, then we'll just get into it. So we'll start with that beautiful man named Frank.
My head's already big. Just kidding. My name is Frank, aka Technique, aka Zahiri, and I love this show. I love this whole production. Tablestory has always been one of my favorite things to watch, and I always wanted to be a part of it. And I'm super happy to be here, and I can't wait to bring even more characters to you guys. And God, I'm just happy to be here. Thank you so very much. I stream and I do other things, so yeah, support this stream. You don't have to worry about supporting me so much. Just support this stream.
I've heard there's some rumors going around about him on something else. That's weird.
There is.
And also that crazy cool, like there's a really cool Twitch ad going around right now with like a really cool person on it.
I actually used this outfit in it too. Funny enough.
Who could it be?
I told you. Yeah, I did.
Interesting. Interesting. Thank you, Frank.
Man, it's good.
Whack.
Hey everybody, I'm Wax Steven. Normally I am the GM of Doom, but this week, on Friday, I get to be the DM of Doom.
I don't even want to. I don't want to figure out what that even means.
Because I get to DM a Dungeons and Dragons campaign for the first time in a bit, so I'm really excited. Frank is going to be joining me on that, and it's going to be really good. Everyone is ultra hyped on the cast, and we're all just kind of like frothing at the mouth in while we wait. So Frank will come to understand, and he will come to fear the orange die. He will.
Yeah, that's
he will
not,
come
it's
to
not a good
fear.
dice. You don't like hearing that one hit the
Well,
roll.
he teased something, and I prepared. Sorta.
Sort of.
Good.
Okay,
Wonderful.
well, that's good.
Sort of.
No, he knows what. I just can't say it. But let's just say I made sure my class was durable of some sort.
That's a wise choice, as having been someone in Wax campaigns.
I've heard rumors. People have come by my channel and was just like, "You're happy. That's good.
Set that bar high so he can hit you over the head with it halfway through.
It'll be fine. It's gonna be
Maybe
fine.
I just
Everything.
haven't had like whack DM long enough for me, but
Well, I didn't
in
have to
my
roll any
experience-
dice. I didn't
yeah,
have to.
I was like, it's
there
my
were no-
experience. It was
When
pretty
he rolls
nice.
them.
Yeah.
Let's just say I have studied my D&D book back and forth, and I'm still not done.
Yeah.
luck.
We're gonna have a lot of fun. It's gonna be good stuff. It's Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern. Rime of the Frost Maiden, D&D module. That's right. We're doing a module, and it's really good. It's gonna be a lot of fun, I think. So hopefully
5 p.m.
check that
Eastern.
out. Yeah, 5 p.m. Eastern. And I play Nikel here. And we'll see if we die today, because we're in a weird place.
That you are. That you are. Hey, Cat. I always pick you right when you've like decided to eat your snack. It's not on purpose, I swear.
Or is it? I'm Kat, and I play Manasa, your favorite loot goblin. And today we will see if Manasa can maintain her mannerisms and not attempt to shank Zaire.
Let's hope she doesn't have a knife in her inventory.
I have one.
Oh, God.
Well, good luck. And faith.
Hi, I'm Faye Lynn, and I play Alkali on this here show. I actually am really excited because tomorrow I'm going to be announcing a role in a video game that's coming out tomorrow. I wanted to wait till release to announce it. But one of one of the more important characters in this game is voiced by me, and I'm really excited. So keep an eye on Twitter and stuff for that if you're interested. I play video games and whatnot normally as well, so that's me.
It's going to be so good. I'm so excited.
Oh, that's awesome.
Congrats.
That is pretty dang cool. That's really cool. I'm looking forward to
you,
whatever that is.
Oh, I'm so excited. You have no idea.
No, I
She's
have no
big
idea
time,
because I
man.
hadn't heard about it until today. So that is
Yeah,
super exciting.
same.
She's big time. She can actually say she's a professional with two
No,
professionals.
stop it.
Two
big
professional. That's so many.
Is so many. Literally, you'll see what that means. Actually, that's yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, and I'm Domestic Dan, your GM of consequences today. As I said, we'll have extra consequences because someone gets to roll for bloody if the opportunity arises. All I have to say is if someone rolls a 1 for her and has to make the decision for the GM intrusion for her, sorry, bloody. I did promise I wouldn't kill her off, so don't worry. You can't kill her with your rolls, but you may cause problems. We'll find out. No,
You didn't need both ears, right?
yeah, you can still hear with one.
Yeah.
You can still grab things if you're missing a couple fingers. So, without further ado, last time on Forbidden Lands, our wonderful party had to deal with a couple of stalkers they hadn't noticed in one of the... Was it the maintenance room? Was it a room with many machines and an interesting console, lots of piping and tubing? But they had to deal with 2 stalkers that caused a bit more trouble than they had hoped for, with their stealth jaguar-like bodies, knocking them around and mauling them, and eventually being dealt with, albeit with some internal conflict arising from it, with fires and electricity and a lot of arguments after it was dealt with, of course. But from there, they made their way through some access tunnels or some ventilation systems and made a bridge across a very deep chasm in this old one facility. And then they found something strange. The room that seems to be the final activation point that had some more of the tubing and machines in it, and something else strange within some of these machines, right in front of a large console with a very large hollow screen up. Bodies? Seemed that Alkali's focus picked out what looked like a person in her peripheral, off in one of the machines.
Oh my god. Come take a look at this. And I'll start walking over.
Is that a body?
From what I can tell.
Is it alive?
I don't know. How could it be alive in something like that?
Maybe it is the old one's magic.
Can I place a hand on it? Is it tangible? Is it able to be reached?
The body, no.
No, not the body, but whatever is sitting in.
Yeah, they look like kind of rounded pea pods almost in this shape, though they're not. There's no translucent coloring to it or anything. It's the focus that lets you pick out what's inside it.
Cool. So I just want to go up and touch it.
You absolutely can. There's similar tubing coming out of them from what you saw in the machines in the other room. So it
Wait
doesn't
a
look like
second.
anything's going in them.
Do I feel any temperature differences or anything of that nature?
Yes, actually, they're a little warmer than the rest of here.
Something is not right here. This is not natural. Come here. Touch this. Feel this.
Go ahead and place my hand on it.
You said that there were shrines underneath each of these.
Yes.
What do the
Potentially
shrines look like?
It looks like there's some flowers set, some of them drier than others. Potentially old incense set up and burned. Looks almost like something you would see at, unfortunately, a graveyard. That's the closest is what it looks like. Maybe an offering to ancestors.
Are any of the flowers like more fresh?
Go ahead and give me a difficulty to perception.
Okay, this sounds really weird, but are they naked?
You don't know.
Like,
You can't.
Do they?
Only the people with focus, which is just Alkali at the moment, can see them, and that
But
gives
it's-
more of like a kind of an orange glow to them. It's harder to tell if they're nude or clothed or wrapped.
All right. Okay.
You'd have to actually see them to know that. Yeah, there are some that are fresher. It looks like some of these, I'm going to call them pods. They kind of are shaped somewhat like a pea pod or a bean. They kind of towards the back middle, because they're lining the walls around maybe about a half of this rectangular room is lined with them. Maybe about 20
And there
of them total.
are figures in each and every one of them?
No. Most, but not all. If you look and sat and counted, maybe 12 of them have people.
Would I know that these are some sort of shrine? This is some sort of shrine underneath?
Yeah,
each?
they look, maybe not Nora specifically. It could be potentially Banuk, but they look like shrines or offerings. Some sort of, could be graveyard, could be out of remembrance. It could be as a offering up to spirits.
Don't
But
touch
they do
them.
definitely.
Don't touch what? The pot? Looking the thing?
There are shrines underneath. This is a sacred place to them.
Oh,
Look.
it is warm. Very warm. Can we see what goes through the tubes? Like any fluids or anything like that?
No,
Okay.
they look empty. You can maybe see a light tinted red residue.
I wonder.
Why would they keep them here?
Keep what
Why-
here? There are shrines here. They believe something about this place. It's not our place to disturb it.
If there was
But
a
didn't-
person in that pod, don't you usually bury or burn your dead?
And
We-
better yet, they said that they weren't coming this far into the facility. Some of these flowers are fresh.
Well, we also do know that they are liars.
I feel like we are in danger here. And what if this is the means of joining?
Alkali, what does your eye see?
I can see not all of these things have people in them. Or at least what I think are people. There are about 12 with actual humans inside, or the rest don't have them. Do we want to maybe take a look at one of the ones that don't have anyone inside?
I don't know if we need to go that far, Kalai, because
But what if these people are trapped?
I
What if this isn't some sort of sacred burial place? What if this is what if
A
what if these were people
sacrificial-
that came here before, trying to do what we are trying to do?
What, and they offered us for sacrifice?
Sacrifice to what?
Their god of meat? Who knows? We have been going pretty far in here. We did not just walk a straight path, I mind you. We have went pretty far, deep even, crossed chasm to be here, and there are bodies in here. There's something definitely not right. I believe we have been set up.
Are there any that of these pods that don't have any shrines underneath?
They all have them, but when she mentioned 12 are filled, you see looks like the absence of 8 shrines that look like they've been upkept, though they were there. They're just old. So maybe the flowers are rotting, and it looks like there isn't as recent of incense that was used.
but they've been taking care of it from what we can tell.
Mm-hmm.
They've definitely been in here. That much is true.
And maybe they went through what we went through. I mean that they have abled people to be able to do what we do. Maybe they're still in here.
I don't know. There weren't too many places, any other places where they could be.
We are finding mysteries, my friend, everywhere. Right now, I don't know who or what to trust. My own eyes are deceiving me right now.
I think I'm going to look around, see if there's any other way out of this room.
I want to do the same. Maybe we can follow these tracks of some sort. Maybe it leads to something else, hopefully. Nothing that will put us inside there.
Don't you want to figure out what's going on here?
Just let them be.
I'm talking about the empty ones.
You and I can go snooping there for now.
Okay.
You are the one that speaks to the spirits.
I'm not sure it's really the spirit she's been talking to.
I just see things, that's all.
You definitely see more than us, and I believe you are the perfect one to investigate these things while we search for tracks, maybe. Anything of seeing if anyone's here. Good thing is, people cannot hide for long in something that hasn't been inhabited quite often. If we cannot find dust, tracks, scrapes, anything, then we need to take precaution, because this is this is not good.
It's not. All right, let's go do it.
Okay.
Manasa, you coming?
Right behind you.
And I'll start walking over to one of the empty pods and investigating it.
Okay.
Same.
How are you doing that?
Well, my focus would be on. But I'm kind of looking for some way to interact with it, whether it be like an interface, some sort of a button, something I can find on the actual piece itself.
It does not look like there is any power going to this. Like, you can look at some of the other pods, the ones specifically that have someone or something in it, and there's readouts. You've seen, like, you may not understand what it actually means, but like there's text kind of over it in the hollow from your focus, but these ones, they don't seem to interact with you.
Interesting. If I were to read one of the interfaces with one of those people inside of it, does it seem like it's functioning still at all?
Why don't you go ahead and give me an intellect check? It's going to be like kind of under interpretation, knowledge, that sort of idea.
Okay, would I be able to apply artifact knowledge to it, or no?
What's the description of artifact knowledge again?
It's just basically skill with Numenera in general.
Yeah, I don't think this would be considered Numenera or a Cypher or that sort of thing. I think this is more you interpreting like the language of how they did stuff previously.
All right, so I'll just do flat intellect then.
Yeah, difficulty 4. What was that, Kat, while she's doing it?
I would like to use my identify lies, danger, or importance.
Okay, you can definitely
See
do
if
that.
I can see any function of what it's supposed to be doing or the importance, I guess.
Yeah, difficulty 4 for you as well. Yeah, no, totally fair.
Excellent.
So Alkali, yeah, you're trying to read, like, you were trying to interpret functionality, or what was it exactly you're trying to
Whether or
interpret?
not it was actually functioning and doing something at all, basically.
You're not really sure. It
Right.
kind of looks like, I mean, it's on, and you see that there's like the similar life signature that you can get from your focus. So in that sense, yes, it's functioning. As to what, or if it's functioning as it was originally intended,
Right.
that's hard to tell. A lot of the words seem like gibberish to you, talking about flow and power readouts and connection status. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense.
Okay.
As for in danger or importance, these are very important. Function, again, you're not entirely sure. They don't seem outright dangerous. You're not getting the feel of it's going to attack you. You may not necessarily be in harm right away. Maybe it was dangerous for the person in there, but
Gosh dang it.
I mean, it's not going to leap out and shoot you. You don't have that feeling.
Okay.
Inside this room, are there any other like interface type deal things or anything that I can track with my focus?
So there is the main console in the center of the room that if you were to stand at, you'd get a whole view of every pod. It's kind of up a little bit, maybe a foot on a pedestal that you can kind of stand up on and not look down, but give you a better view
Right,
of everything.
So I'd like to do that then. I'd like to stand up and try and see if I can garner anything from taking a look at this main interface console thing.
Yeah. So it has text flying on it. Looks like some sort of old one status readout, probably. You've
Right.
seen stuff kind of like this before, though not in this context. And it's moving almost faster than you can read. You doing anything particular with it, or just going to try to read it? Or something else?
So while she's reading it, she's gonna start hearing a tang, 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 tang. I'm hitting it with my pad.
Which one are you hitting?
The one, like, I'm hitting the one closest to her because I couldn't figure out anything, like, actually, like, observing it. So now I'm just kind of, like, tapping it to see if it does something. If I just consistently tap at it.
The one that you were looking at before, or did you move on to a different? Okay.
No, the same one.
Okay, so the one that is, quote, off. Yeah, you're pinging it, and it's, I mean, metal on whatever material these are made out of, and your metal is clanging a lot more from the PDA you had than anything else.
Manasa, I'm trying to focus, and that's making a lot of noise.
Ping. What?
Try not to make so much noise. That's not going to work.
Well, what are you doing?
I'm trying to figure this out.
Okay, well, continue doing that then. I'll be over here.
Just don't...
Tang. Tang.
We're going to die. And I'd like to take a look at the interface again and see if maybe I can... If there's any way for me to, like, I guess, interact with it, maybe I can find out something more specific or get it to stop scrolling so I can read something on it.
Yeah, how are you trying to do that? Or how have you tried to mess with like old one like panels and
right.
Readouts like this before?
Well, I mean, it would either, in my previous experience, it would either have some sort of a physical keyboard, or it would have like something where I would be able to visualize it and poke around a little bit with my focus.
Okay.
So I'm just looking for something that I can maybe take a look at and poke some prompts into, see if I can get it to slow down, something like that.
Yeah, there's no physical keyboard for this, or hollow keyboard that you can easily see. It is probably what seems like the equivalent of like a maybe 50 or 60 inch hollow screen. It's pretty large, squarish. Instead of more wide, it kind of goes a bit more up for probably readouts.
Right, and I'm not able to like touch that in particular.
That you can.
Oh.
So when you touch it, it kind of does the scroll pause when you click, you like hold your finger on it.
Right, okay. So assuming I do that, is there anything that I can make out?
Now you could use your old one, knowledge / artifact knowledge.
Is it gonna be 4 again?
This will be a 3.
3, okay.
Because you've paused it. There you go. Ooh, and you are specialized in that, so that is very handy for you.
Dang.
Yeah, as you hear pinging in the background still. And maybe we see Alkali's eye twitch every now and then on the in time with the pinging. But as you kind of pause and look, and it, you see cascading failure imminent. Pods 2 through 7 failure. Flow obstructed. And you see that repeating itself maybe every other few lines, and then it's just gibberish.
Right.
That doesn't make any sense. Not words, just characters and
Does it provide some
letters.
sort of a schematic for the pods, like the numbering for them on it?
No, however, when it said 2 through 7 and you start kind of looking through, it's pretty easy to make out, oh yeah, sure enough, the failed ones, there are 6 of them in a row. And then that means there's 2 others elsewhere, and it could be in later in the words, but at least there's 6 in a row that are failed, and you could assume that that's 2 through 7.
Okay. All right. I guess that's all I'm getting from this.
Tang, tang, Tang. All right, now I'm gonna be honest. Now I'm just bored. So I mean,
Okay, well,
Tang.
let's just.
Can we open one of these up?
No, we can't. Not
Are
yet.
you sure?
Yeah, I was only able to find out that some of these pods, that's what they called them.
Odd.
That some of these failed in some way, shape, or form. I'm gonna be hopeful and assume that it's the one, or that they're the ones that are empty that failed. But I think we're gonna have to move further in to see if we can find anything else out about this.
I will be the voice of reason and reality here and probably say that you are wrong. We both know that too.
We can hope.
Hello, Administrator. And we will shift to the other group as they are wandering around. We'll go and jump back a few minutes. So as they walk up to one of the pods that is not having a life sign in it, you two were off doing what exactly?
Trying to get the lay of the room, see if there are any other exits. Are there any more of those vents? Looking for any other signs of activity or anything along those lines.
Okay. Yeah. Are you both doing that? Or are you that's what Nikel's doing? What are you doing, Zardy?
Sort of the same, but more so paying attention to the ground and like objects around and seeing if dust is there or if it's been stepped in or anything tampered with.
Okay. So you both are kind of roughly doing the same thing in a couple of different areas of the room.
Right.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead and give me, I think that would fall under a tracking style check. So that'd be a speed check, difficulty 4.
Speed instead of int. Okay.
Yeah. For the if tracking is usually int, you could do that. I guess it depends on how quickly you're trying. If one of you is doing it quicker to try to get it over with, I'd say speed. Otherwise, int would fit.
Yeah, it says intellect for the stat.
Yeah.
Because I have tracker and I don't have to add anything, right? It's already taken in the cord.
Yep. You just roll tracker, difficulty 4. If that is under your skills.
It's on the special abilities.
Tracker gave you certain abilities, which I believe.
Oh,
is
following identifying
following
tracks.
and identifying tracks.
Sorry.
18.
Nope, you're good.
You said difficulty what?
4. An 18 for Nikel. Okay.
Int.
I'll let Zardy roll next before we resolve this. Also, 2 18s. Well done, both of you. Apparently, you are in sync.
We are brothers.
Well done. Yeah. So, you would see these two trackers kind of like almost do the kind of silent understanding of what they're gonna try to attempt to do, and Anxiety, starts looking around at the dust, as he said, and Nikel is kind of looking at some of the dust, but more so looking up, looking for vents, looking at the walls, looking for any other exit or entry points. And you both happen to find, through different methods, it looks like a seam in the wall. And it is vaguely door-shaped. Or sized, at least, but there's a seam.
Is there any sort of panel or any indication that we can open this?
Not that you can see, but it is there, and you found it. And the main way that that Zahedi found it was it looked like maybe really, really old, or from a while ago, tracks or indentation leading to this. And Nikel, your sharp eyes spotted the seam itself. And every now and then you hear a ting, ting, ting from the room you're in.
Are we near each other?
Once you both lead to the door, you're right next to each other.
Okay. All right, so I'll just look at Nikhil. It looks like we have the same understanding, huh?
Maybe another door.
I'm going to put my hand on the seam to see if I feel air or anything from it.
Go ahead and give me a difficulty 2 perception. Just a little bit. Like maybe it feels just a tiny bit cooler.
Are we going to knock this thing down here?
How big is this thing?
There's definitely something on the other side of this.
Like your almost standard door frame size. So maybe 7 feet up and like, 3 feet wide.
Just going to kind of like roughly bang on it.
Solid thuds.
It feels heavy. I don't think that we could break through easily.
Well, good thing we have a key. And I kind of like motion back to Alkali. Yeah?
Judging from the position of the door, would I be able to tell if it looks like it comes from a direction that we came from?
It is not. It is further deeper into the facility. If you were to enter in the main door from the room with the crevasse, it's actually off to the left before the first pod.
All right. Let's see if they found anything.
Okay. I guess we both just head back towards the direction.
Okay. And this is when you would see Alkali kind of maybe touching and holding text. And then hearing, "Hello, Administrator."
I like immediately put my hand on my sword. No, what is this?
Got my bow drawn.
What did he say? What is an administrator?
From what direction did that sound come from?
Up. And then it kind of echoed in the room.
I would be probably at least a little bit well versed in the fact that administrator is typically something you would have to input into old one technology, right? As like to try to get into things.
I'll let you decide that if you know it or not.
Okay, so I'm gonna go with the assumption that I do.
Okay.
Well,
Seems fair.
administrator is typically something that I put into to try to get into or gain access into these old one devices.
Wait, you put an administrator inside there?
No, it's
All right, so it wasn't me.
it's a word.
Okay, I thought
But
was
it
me.
said hello, administrator.
Right,
As
so
in,
it's
you are the administrator?
I don't know. I didn't put any I didn't put anything in. I was just reading. From what I could tell from that panel over there, that big thing, and I point towards the screen, a few of these pods have failed. That's all I was able to gather. I didn't input anything. I just read what was fed out to me.
What task were they given?
There was no information. It was,
Failed.
yeah.
Failed normally means... what were they doing with these people?
I don't know, but it was.
Nickel, shrines are made in your culture, yes?
Yes, for the All Mother and for the dead.
But these have failed. This does not line up.
It said only a few of them, 2 through 7, but I don't see any numbers on these pods. So, let's just go with the assumption that the failed ones are the ones that don't have anyone in it.
Manasseh, you have traveled long and wide, yes?
Yes.
Have you ever come across anything of any kind of shrine that has, what is it called? Pods. Have you ever seen any of this?
I'd have to say that this is a first. That's why I question it. Normally I see shrines for the buried or burned. This is almost disgusting.
I mean, trapping someone inside a device like this.
But you said you couldn't tell if they were
Sick.
alive, yes?
Can't.
Wait a minute. What do you see in that eye? How do you know there's someone in there?
It's showing me the shape of a person. That's all
Is
I can
there
see.
anything coming from that person? Movement,
Are they breathing?
temperature, heat. Yeah.
If I try really hard to focus in on one of the pods, do I see any form of life coming from these people?
You definitely do. The focus can pick up on living things and kind of track their movement and where they are. So you know they're alive in that they give off a life signature. To what state they're in, that's a lot more tricky without actual physical observation. So you're pretty confident they're alive. In what capacity? That's a little harder. But you don't have to focus super hard on it to know that.
No, I mean, they're definitely alive, but how can you call that alive?
It is warm to the touch. You're seeing heat then?
People and animals give off a particular vision, let's call it, when they're alive versus when they're not alive.
Well, Nikel and I have found something that might lead to some answers.
What do you mean?
Let's just show you.
Okay.
Start turning around. Zaire turns around and starts walking in the direction of the door, I guess.
We're not
you wanna
going to
call it.
open one.
We can't right now.
Can't or won't.
If the pods either don't have power to them or they are failed, we are not able to open them until we can figure out a way to get them power. And I don't...
How do you think a squirrel opens a nut?
Let's explore first.
Blunt force.
And then... Not yet.
You can't say you aren't the least bit curious.
I am, but I want to figure it out the proper way. I wasn't able to access any
Is
form
this
of
the
a
proper
panel
way?
to open up.
To treat the dead.
It is not, but they're not dead.
And you are so sure of that.
I think you start to see me slowly get this look of shock on my face. Is this another birthing chamber?
A what?
What do you mean?
In the sacred lands, there was a room, a place that we could not enter. The mothers were not allowed to enter. But Aloy was able to go inside. There was much confusion, and she was cast out as an exile. But we later learned that Aloy came from something similar to these pods.
What do you mean, came? She is pod machine?
No. I don't understand everything, but she was from the old ones.
Wait. Are you saying that Aloy is an old one?
No. I don't understand their magic, but
She was
Aloy-
produced by them.
She was made.
Yes.
Like a machine.
I don't know exactly, but she had a mother and not.
Okay. Is
She said that there were others, but they had died long ago. Perhaps these are more of those people, and they are still alive.
Dan, inside the pods, are these people full-grown adults?
Yes. At least they're adult sized, is maybe a better way to put it.
But, Kel, I don't mean to derail your theory, but wasn't Aloy a baby when she came to you? Or well, to the Nora?
Yes.
These are grown adults. These aren't babies.
I don't understand the difference.
yes, maybe someone babies, maybe someone older. Has this been keeping them alive for a period of time? The only thing I can make sense is that maybe they put themselves in there or someone put themselves in there. Things happened in the past that was very tragic, yes?
The more we speculate, the more questions that pop up.
Right.
When the answer is simply right there.
The door we found.
No, we have to open one.
We don't know what
I'm
will
not
happen.
opening something and possibly killing a person. Let's just keep
So
investigating.
you're going to leave them trapped in there.
No. But there might
They've
be
left
some
them trapped in
there
there.
might be some way to deactivate it in a way that's safe for them.
The spirits don't tell you anything about them?
I tried to use any panel or anything that I could access, but there was no way to open it. There was no way to override it. There was
Can't
no
you
way to
speak-
dismiss it.
Speak to the voice.
Yes. Speak to them.
Some spirits they are.
You all heard that one.
They call on you. They call you administrator.
There could also be another person in here that actually is the administrator.
Sometimes you have to think that you are the chosen one. You constantly place yourself behind others. But we cannot do anything that you do when it comes to this. You have to be it. Take charge. If you whatever decision you come with, I stand with you. But you need to make a decision.
I think we need to continue and investigate what it is that you pointed out.
Okay? I'm with it. Everyone else?
Yes.
All right. Follow me.
All right. And we'll walk over towards the
This is it.
See the seam there? It's another door.
Come closer. Put your hand right here.
Am I seeing anything on my focus?
Yes. You are seeing flow maintenance is like the words that are in hollow above this presumably door. And you do see maintenance and administrator access only.
This is where we needed to go before, remember? Remember in the other room where they said that we needed to go to maintenance? This is to perform some sort of maintenance on the obstructed flow that it mentioned. Remember that? And in the room with those pods, it also said that there was an obstruction in the flow.
So the flow must lead to the failure.
Yes. I think.
Can you open this?
I can try. Is there anything that I can interact with, Dan?
Yeah, it looks like there is on your focus, not one of the like handle turns for the hollow, but it looks like there's a hollow slot. I'm putting that in quotes. It looks about the size of the little card that you have, but it's hollow entirely.
All right, so I'd like to pull out that key card and try and see if I can send it on in.
Yeah. To everyone else, all you see is Alkali pull out a card and just put it horizontally in the air. With Alkali, you get from your focus what seems like, haptic feedback like you felt before of you putting a card in a slot. And then you hear a small ding.
Oh, that worked.
And you hear a chunk of what sounds like a metal shifting.
Am I getting anything on the readout?
Which readout?
Whatever is on the screen for that flow maintenance, or is there nothing visually there?
Nothing visually there changed, but you did hear metal moving.
That's...
You all heard that.
Did you open it?
I think so. It didn't give me any other sort of...
I'm gonna try and push the door.
It moves, albeit a little slowly and a bit of grinding. And it pushes itself in, depending on how far you try to open it. If it's all the way, it will slide.
I assume
on
if
what
it
seems
starts
like
moving,
a rail.
if it starts moving in, I'm gonna just push it all the way.
Absolutely. And yeah, you look below and you see what looks like a rail to slide and shift it open. And a dim blue light washes into the room you're in.
Okay.
It's open? All right, I can go first.
No. That's... And he takes out... Is it dark in there?
A little. It's dim blue light. Think low light.
So he has the headlamp.
Weren't you just going on about her being the leader? Her being the chosen one?
Yes, but our leader needs to be safe. So he puts on a headlamp. And I finally want to use this. An upgrade.
I've got my phone headlamp.
Yep, you've got your PDA headlamp that emits also low light, and then Alkali's headlamp on Zaidi.
Do I is the
You
button?
just have to... Okay, so if you want to make the beam wider, you have to turn it this way. But there's a little button to the side. Do you feel that?
Yes, he kind of
And I would
turns it
be
on
poking-
in her face. Is this good?
Yep! That's
Perfect.
perfect.
I can see.
Yeah, I can't.
Okay. Sorry. All right.
That's fine.
All right. Let's go, Nikhil.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd follow. Diary.
I'm just slowly kind of like close to the ground, hand on sword, slipping in, looking around.
He's
You're
taking low.
in-
I'm taking high. Basically, I'm looking.
Okay,
with
perfect.
the bow.
Yeah. So this is a very, very short, I wouldn't even call it a hallway, but it looks more like a transitional room, and the doorway is already open. The door is open into the next section. And you see what looks like a fairly large curved circular room if you walk into that straight through an open door. I'm assuming the rest of you are following.
Yeah,
them
I would
up.
be very
Yeah,
close
he kind
behind.
of signals. Come.
Yeah, I'll be trailing behind.
And in this circular room, there is what looks like a kind of a round console in the center. More machinery around the sides, though not the same pods, more whatever machines are with the piping and the tubes and all that. And you can hear maybe a slight grinding noise from whatever gears are. It's not as smooth and natural in quotes, as the previous machinery room. Let's see, Zaidi and Nikel, I would love to get a perception check from you, difficulty 3. And you're looking around in here. The faint blue glow is coming from the console in the center.
12.
Oh, you
Said
okay?
difficulty
Success.
3.
3. Mm-hmm. Okay. Nikel's scanning the room, kind of looking at the machines and maybe distracted a bit by the grinding noise. Zaidi, you see a person in the corner. Banuk. And they're breathing very heavily.
I immediately put my hand on my sword and just place my hand on the ground to be able to push off if need be.
Can I see this person as well?
If he points it out.
Yeah. Everyone, stay still.
What's going on?
Nikel, draw your bow.
I have him.
Alkali, see if your eye can pick up more information. Look in the corner. And I kind of like, I don't want to put my beam directly on the person. I kind of scan the bottom so it doesn't hit them directly.
I would look over and see if I can get any sort of like, I guess readout, or not readout, but like any sort of image on my focus.
Yeah, you do. There's a living person in the corner. They look like they're slumped up against the wall. Maybe
I don't
head's
see
kind of
anything.
drooping a little.
He's alive
Where?
in that corner.
I will approach. Nikel, if you sense any movement of any kind of aggression, you know what to do.
Yes.
Kind of looks at Alkai, looks at Manasa. Here we go. So I'm gonna slowly walk up to the person, very cautiously.
And yeah, you see a young Banuk man, similar red wiring through the arms more than the neck. Kind of a dirty blonde haircut, kind of cut a little short. Their breathing is very labored as you get close and you notice it looks like tubes are jammed into their side. And some blood, from what you can tell, is leaking into the tubes. As they wheeze and breathe heavily.
Hey,
Is he alive?
yeah, if you call that alive,
I'm gonna push on through.
slowly.
He's wounded.
Just,
Don't touch him.
we do not know. Manasa, take a closer look around his sides.
I start examining his sides.
Yeah, looks like some of those tubes you've seen in machines were pulled out or cut from one of them and jammed into him.
Hello?
Just like them.
Are you... Can you hear me?
Heavy wheezing from him, but no response from your waving at him.
So I'm gonna kind of like slide to the side of him. I want to see where these machine parts lead to.
But his tubes, they go directly into some of the machines that look a little similar to that room with the stalkers. Pistons and whirring gears and something that seems to be, well, supposedly would pump liquid, and in this case it looks like it's pumping something from him.
All right, well, if we're going to do this interrogation, we're going to do it proper. I'm going to take out my tear blaster, and I'm going to cock it, and I'm going to aim it straight at him.
Manasa,
You! Are you awake?
Just hear his...
Maybe we can turn it off.
water? He needs
I'm gonna,
water. Wait, no,
I'm
no.
gonna kick his foot.
Do not. Don't.
And he jolts for a second at the kick and he has a very glassy-eyed look as he's looks very confused and doesn't, maybe that look would, you know, when someone's like really high on pain medication and they're looking past or through you.
Oh, no.
Right.
That's
Okay.
the look that he has. Doesn't necessarily mean he's drugged. It's just he's got that very out of it look.
Do I notice any like dry around the mouth or anything?
You can give me a
so
medical
close?
check. Intellect 3.
Okay. I mean difficulty 3. Intellect.
Difficulty 3.
Okay.
Intellect based, yeah.
I still have my tear blaster just trained right on his, like, stomach.
Okay. That's hard to tell.
Can you hear us?
What?
Do you need water? Anything?
What? Is it fixed?
Is what fixed?
I came to help.
What?
He's continuing to stare through you.
So Zaidi like immediately backs up and grabs Alkali and Manasa kind of behind his back and
Oh,
slowly
she does
wakes up.
not. She does not allow you to do that. She is trained on him. She is not moving. She shrugs you off.
We are in deep trouble here. Did you hear what he just said?
I couldn't hear. It was mumbles.
Disgusting.
It sounded like he said, "Is it fixed?" And he tried to help.
He was the one who disappeared. Remember they said that someone died recently during the
A collapse. And we have not
collapse?
seen one. Here yet. Manasa,
Die.
please keep your head on a swivel. Nikhil, do you notice anything around? Close to us? Any doors, any pods, any machinery above us? Alkali, please scan the room immediately.
There's I can take a look at the over there, and I'm pointing towards that interface that you pointed out before.
Yeah, it's kind of a blue dome. But it looks like a console. You've seen some of these before. Usually like multiple people would stand around it is what it looks like.
Maybe there's a way to turn it off so whatever it's doing to him, it stops.
I kick his foot again. What are you doing?
Hey, maybe you see his eyes focus just a little bit more after that kick. Who are you?
We're trying to help. And I look at Manasa and I say, Manasa, stop.
She lowers her tear blaster, or I lower my tear blaster slowly, and I go, "We were sent to help fix the machine. What are you doing?
Why don't you give me a difficulty for, I'd say intimidating. It fits for this pretty well.
Can I, let's see here.
As you are not being very diplomatic in this regard.
May I use one of my special abilities? I don't
Very
know if
likely.
it applies to this. It
What
says
ability?
it's familiar insight. So you know this person or have heard about them somewhere, and I'm going to assume in that case I have seen the Banooks here, and so knowing where they stand and kind of what they worship and like the hints they've given.
Okay.
Am I
that
able
costs an
to-
XP,
Okay, yeah, I'll do that.
but you absolutely could.
Okay.
So deduct your XP. You've definitely heard of this person from Dorkrick. That lines up with what everyone else said too. This was likely the man they sent ahead before the collapse, before the cave-in the other room. Their motives are pretty clear. They were sent to fix whatever was wrong in some way, shape, or form. You might be able to lean on their sense of devotion.
Okay.
So that is a player intrusion, by the way, for those listening, which cost experience points, but let the players take a bit of the narrative.
So, in asking him what he's doing, I'm going to take a deep sigh and kind of compose myself after Nikel is like, knock it off. And I put on my Manasa customer service face. And you just instantly see her death glare just change in expression to like almost like a panic, like a worry, but like it's carried with we have to do something. It's dire. Like we need to accomplish this. And she kind of kneels down to him and looks at him and goes, "We need to fix this machine. What are you doing to help?"
Not fixed?
I'm going to turn back and I'm going to look at Alkali. And I'm going to kind of like motion like, well?
No, not yet. I'd like to
turn-
take a look.
I turn back at him. I go, "No. What have you done so far to assist in fixing the machine?" And I like look at the tubes.
He coughs and some blood leaks from his mouth. It gave to the spirit.
They gave to the spirit. What do you give?
Yourself.
Was there a collapse? Ask if there was a collapse.
I'm looking very shocked right now. The collapse. What caused the collapse?
See his eyes dilate a little bit and his focus starts to fade. He looks like he's nodding off again.
I'm going to gently, like, I'm assuming his arms are kind of like slumped over to his sides. Is that?
Yeah, he's just kind of
I'm
leaned
going
up
to-
against the wall.
I'm going to reach out and I'm going to carefully, I'm going to kind of like lightly tap his arm to see if it like not the kicking like I did with previously, but I'm going to try to tap his arm to see if I can get him to wake up again.
Yeah, kind of maybe his eyes focus a little bit more and look up at you again and are you here to help?
Here to help. What caused the collapse?
I don't know. was
Yeah.
a rumble. The earth was mad.
Wait a minute. His tubes. Are they leading to out there? To where those shrines are. He's giving himself to the shrines.
She's gonna stand up very slowly with her head down, but she's facing away from the group, obviously. And she's not gonna turn around to them. She's just gonna say, while looking at him, "This is how they fix the machine. In order to fix the machine, you must give yourself to them."
Have you ever seen anything like this before, Alkali?
No. No, I haven't.
I have never seen anything like this.
Does that mean that what was being produced
Comes from another's life force. Anxiety's just getting really angry the more and more he thinks about it. I am going to dismantle this place.
we need to shut this down, yeah. Now.
Anxiety takes his sword out. And we
I put my hand on Zaire's hand. Hold on. Think about what you are doing. If
It could
we
be
are,
one of you.
if we are,
I do not agree.
If we are right, if what you say is true, and this place is being used to feed these people, and it requires their life force, who are we to take that away?
They don't even know they're eating people.
Do they?
What if it was one of us? What if it was you? What if we are
can't-
here for this?
We can't make this choice for them. This is their community.
And why were we
Maybe
sent
all
here?
of these people gave themselves to the machines so that they could feed everyone else.
Because
I
they're
don't-
fucking brainwashed, Nikel.
Okay,
They've been convinced that this is what they need to do.
why were we?
That doesn't.
I
Why were
don't
we
like
sent
this.
here? Why
I
were we
don't
sent
like
here?
it.
That's the big question. There's nothing broken here physically. This is broken. It all makes sense. Join us. The red tubing. The fact that we can find answers that are logical is right in front of us. They failed. As he said, we had failures. We have been playing into these hands the whole time, willingly.
We don't know that. We don't know enough about this whole place. He seemingly doesn't understand what is happening.
Okay.
Yes, he does.
Let's go back.
It's a cult. It's a cult.
Let us go back and look at the pods.
Excellent. I'm with that. Manasa, please dismantle one.
I haven't.
Akalai, I think this is far past what the the old ones are. Any ancients can tell you, the spirits.
I'm gonna kneel down. I'm gonna kneel back down to the body. Because he's pretty much body. I'm going to take my hand, I'm gonna reach out, and I'm going to cradle his face with my one hand. Is it
Still warm.
warm? Is it like... Is it a little cold, or is it just like still...
He's not
I've
been
seen,
here for
I've
like
seen
a
like
couple
dead
weeks
bodies
or
before,
anything.
so like...
Yeah,
okay.
he's
So-
not dead. He's not like bled out and like close to death. He's not well, but he's still got some warmth to him. Maybe the color in
Does
his
it
face
look like
is
the
fading.
tubes are taking blood out from him?
Your transfusion.
It's from a cursory glance and from the medical check that failed earlier. Yes, it does. But how much, you don't know.
This entire time, I probably would have been messing with that console that we talked about earlier.
Ah, okay.
Is
How
there
are you
is there
messing with it?
well, first I would probably be looking for some sort of a way to gain access to it, or if I can get any form of interaction from it.
Yeah, I mean, you stand up and it looks, so there's the kind of blue glowing orb that's maybe about 5 feet across in this room. And there's what looks like maybe a handrail along the outside of it for kind of like you can stand up to the thing. Looks like there's a step up as well. How would you be attempting to, like, give me a few examples of how you would try to interact with this thing?
I mean, I guess I would first take in like what is in front of me at the moment. Is it just like a blank screen? Does it have any sort of like
No screen at all.
nothing?
It's just the blue glowing, like, half dome in the middle
Okay, and
of
there's
this.
nothing pinging on my focus that I can see either, right?
No, nothing directly, no. No hollow has popped up with it. Not at the moment, at least.
I would try to touch it physically and see if there's anything that would pop up from that.
Absolutely, and there it does. You touch it, and the glow brightens a little bit, and then focuses in the center, and all the blue melts up and into that familiar hologram when you enter the facility of what looked like a man in strange clothing.
Hello, Administrator. How may I help you?
We hear that, right?
Yes, you do.
See, it has chosen you.
But I don't know what to do.
Talk to it.
Ask it what it needs in order to be
Dan.
fixed.
Previously, this thing called itself Artemis.
That is correct.
Artemis, what are some common commands that I can give you?
Common commands include status readout, life support status, flow maintenance logs, and
Artemis, may I have a status readout?
status readout. Coolant and cell production flow obscured. Life support for pods 2 through 7 depleted. Pod 17 and 19 depleted. Volunteers needed in 15 years.
Can I roll to see if I recognize Artemis again?
Yeah. That's going to be intellect difficulty 6.
Okay. I put an effort in.
Okay. You don't.
Artemis, life support status, please.
Life support status nominal.
Support. Support. It is taking care of something.
It's keeping them alive so that it can drain them. It said the pods were depleted. All of them.
Ask them. Ask it what it needs for fuel.
Artemis, what forms of fuel must be provided?
Fuel stores. Subnominal. Geothermal. Power. Slowly draining in this facility. Recent geological activity damaged fuel source.
So, whatever it's using to power the facility was recently damaged. Well, maybe not recently.
So maybe they are not powering this facility.
It's... There are two separate things. These sacrifices are not powering the facility, they're providing the food. Geothermal.
How can
Dan,
only...
would I...
That makes no sense. How could only... How many did we see? How many pods were there?
20, I think.
20 pods total, 12 filled.
If I brought back 20 fresh boars, that could not feed that entire colony for a long time. There's no way that 20 people can feed an entire colony.
Maybe, maybe
would-
they're mixing it with something.
Even
Maybe...
if they all died.
They said something along the lines of correct me if I'm wrong. The blood of the machines flow within us. They hear whispers of the machine. Maybe they concocted something that can do both. We are quite out of our element here.
It makes no sense. If we came to this place and they had not seen anyone for a long time, they were surprised to see us. They could not keep sending people in here to keep feeding everyone else.
It said 15 years? Is that what?
Yes.
15 years. They said next... what did it say, Akalai? Something about next replacement or something, 15
Right, just
years.
replacement. It said replacement something. Oh, I can't even think. But yes, I do believe that it was referring to those people.
Mikael, we are thinking with logic based on what we know, and we have not seen this before.
Do you think that this machine makes more of their meat?
It may convert, it may do all kinds of stuff. We do not know. It flows all through these pipes and where it leads to.
Didn't
No.
you say that alloy came from a birthing chamber of sorts?
Yes. There was never any machine that made food from people.
But she was sustained by something.
Yes.
So maybe there are two parts. Because something is... There has to be some sort of a way that they're producing this food. The only thing that we've seen so far is that people are in here hooked up to God knows what. The old ones were incredibly efficient with their food sources and with maintaining it and with making lots out of small amounts.
The real question here is why is he here
Yes.
and they are out there?
Yes. Something with this tube.
I feel like they're cloning him,
What is this?
and once they make more of him from what they have left of him, they turn him into food.
They said
I don't know this word. What is this word? Cloning.
It's
The old ones
heard-
mentioned it a lot.
they
heard it
did
on the
say
road.
something
I
about
didn't-
cells.
it's like twins. Like-
Duplication.
So we can have two Manassas, essentially.
But
Right.
I feel like with the pods, they don't wake them up. They just suck them dry until there's nothing left.
We won't be able to confirm that unless we end up being able to open up one of those pods.
No, no, no.
Oh, now you're all
Alkali.
for it. All right,
Alkali.
yes.
I
no,
didn't
no.
say I was against it. I said that we need to figure out a way to do it
this is
safely.
This is not the place. I think Manasseh is very much onto something. I think we all are. They said depleted. Depleted as in source. We say this when it comes to food and stuff that we gather, herbs.
But they were alive.
Deplete. Herbs. So are animals when we use them as food source. Eventually they were alive and we take them. But this is a little bit more complicated. 15 years. They said something about cells. I not being stable. This all is starting to come together slowly, and I do not like this. I want to believe that the old ones.
I can't believe it. I won't. There has never been anything like this from the old ones. We have never seen
I don't
anything
think
like
it's-
this.
I don't think it's necessarily the way the old ones wanted it.
What if it wasn't for humans?
Modified.
I feel like
I-
the technology of the old ones has been perverted into this.
You think that these people did that?
Well, they're willingly sacrificing people. Maybe they
We
don't know exactly.
We don't know that.
They said, when you asked them, Nikhil, recall, they said they think the gods have done it. The gods. And then it related to a machine at some point. You talked to them at the waterfall or something? You said you see no game. Unfortunately, that paste back there was not the type of meat that I see.
Do you remember that chamber we went in with all of those tablets? Not only did they mention upgrades, but they mentioned volunteers.
This is no upgrade?
Volunteers. Zaire.
No, I agree. But the way they worded it makes you feel enabled. I was feeling enabled.
And I
They
feel
were
like
playing.
that's what happened. That's how this happened.
You
They
think
must have
things got
been-
this bad?
They must.
Look where they live.
Alkai,
I have never
you
seen
saw,
anything.
You saw the way Zaire reacted when they mentioned volunteering and being upgraded. He thought he was talking to his god. He was thrilled to be a part of something bigger. And if there's anything I barely know about the Nooks is that they're very religious. And I feel like some of them might have traveled down here and heard what we heard. And
I can't believe it. I can't.
Well, we can
I'm
find
sorry,
some proof.
Nikhil. But unfortunately, the truth is right in front of us.
No! It is not! The All-Mother would not do this!
Maybe it's not the All-Mother. You recall something out there whispering to them, telling them lies, obviously. An orb of some sort, yes? Alkali, you said you heard something. a humming,
Yeah.
a song of some sort, yes?
I did.
That's how they lure them in. Everyone has to talk to Manasseh there. What's his name? Barak. Everyone has to talk to him to get acknowledgement. They have to go through. Everything flows through him. He speaks to it, brings them here. They were delighted when they saw us. They were happy we were strong, Nikel. We would last probably a whole lot longer than 15 years.
I think for the first time, you really see my face filled with rage. My hands are trembling.
And Zaidi's just like looking at him and shaking his head. Let's go open a pot.
No,
Let's open it.
Artemis.
I am going to speak to Dorcrick.
Yes, Administrator. How may I help you?
I start to run off.
What interactions can I have with the life support pods?
Interactions include volunteer replacement, status of volunteers, VR subsystems, stem cell production.
Production. Nikel! Anybody see? Nikel went left off Manasseh. Did you have any eyes on Nikel?
You heard him running off. He's gone.
You just see her shaking her head. She still is staring at the guy.
I can't leave them. They said production, alkali,
They said volunteer replacement.
I told you.
and production.
I told you.
Manasseh, I am sorry. You are right. And I want to rip this place apart. But let's start by opening and examining these. Death holds.
The guy that is on the floor that I'm like crouched down next to, I'm gonna kind of tap him on his face very, very softly to see if he wakes up again.
And his glassy eyes look around once more.
The machine is almost finished.
Sorry, looks at Manasseh.
Did you volunteer?
Yes. I wanted to help Avi.
Did you know that you were going to die?
He looks up and
You don't die. You.
and he kind of starts to fade and look away again and droop.
I'm pretty sure we can fill out that. He believes he becomes one with the others or a greater cause. MK, can you please go after and look after Nikhil?
You see MK kind of nod as she's been staying pretty quiet and start to head out towards him.
Artemis.
Yes, Administrator. How may I help you?
Can you confirm the purpose of this facility?
Facility's purpose is long-term food production for the betterment and survival of humanity. Following the plague.
They did it.
Artemis, can you confirm that the volunteers inside the life support pods are what is used for food production?
Please, restate query.
Ask them if the clones are being, I don't know, turned into food, sustenance.
Artemis, are volunteers being cloned?
This facility is not a cloning facility. Cloning was outlawed internationally and
How can I? They may be growing in those pods. It sounds far-fetched, but Aloy, as a baby found in something similar, they might be just growing from life source of unfortunate volunteers. And maybe in their religion, this isn't killing for food. This is a part of their sustain.
Alkali? It mentioned a fuel room,
Geo.
chamber,
Geothermal.
something. Yes, well, it mentioned that the fuel source had been damaged. Maybe we can ask Artemis where that room is, and we can fix it. Or something. But before you ask him the food that this machine makes, how is it being made? How is the meat being made?
Artemis, can you give me a rundown on the production process?
production process of proteins is directly using the stem cells from a living creature. Normally, pork. It is grown in the production facility using fat or muscle, and the stem cells extracted.
I think we have our answer.
What is a stem cell? I've never read about this. Do you have any idea?
And just visually seeing, maybe it's coming from him.
Ask where the pigs are.
I
Wait. Artemis spoke to the old ones. Yes? It was a part of their time. Yes?
yes.
Maybe in their time, it was pork. There is no pork around here.
There were no animals.
Substitute?
I told you.
Substitute.
I told
Replacement.
you that the old ones machines, or this one, it served its actual purpose for a while, but I think by the time it ran out, the Manooks venturing down here, they misunderstood the message. To be upgraded or to volunteer for the betterment
We didn't see any animals around here.
No.
That's why they're using people.
What I find interesting is those pods. They mention the great death, the plague. Yes?
Yes.
Maybe the old ones put themselves in these to survive it of some sort, and put those pork hooked up to a machine to give them substance to stay alive long enough to maybe try to outlast the great death.
But the Banooks have misunderstood and perverted it and have been sacrificing their own, thinking that their sacrifice to their god provides them sustenance, when in reality it's just
The volunteer? You're onto something. The volunteer was to survive. Maybe repopulate, if possible. It was maybe a last standing effort of some sort. But things went wrong.
In those other pods, do you think that they're old ones, or do you think that...
No.
Does it matter at this point?
I do not think they're old ones.
It
I think
doesn't
they
matter.
I think it was used, but now it's used differently.
So then what happened to the old ones that were in those pods?
We are missing bodies, yes?
I'm gonna be sick.
Anasa, do you think you can crack one of these things open?
Let me try something first.
Okay?
Let's...
Artemis,
Yes, Administrator. How may I help you?
can you open the life support pods?
Pods may be opened, but life is threatened of the volunteer if done so.
Artemis,
Would you like me to open pods?
is there a safe way to open the pods?
All pods may be opened at your request. Please note that the life of the volunteer may be at risk.
How are we gonna get them out?
Sounds like we can't get them out. Unless we want to risk being just like these Banuk.
I don't understand why they can't just release themselves.
Because they're stuck in here and they need some sort of a prompt. Artemis is the one who can do it.
And why won't Artemis open it?
Artemis is saying that we can open it, but that the people inside will be in danger.
Why, though?
Maybe they're
Artemis,
not.
can you explain the dangers of opening a pod prematurely?
Once a volunteer has hooked themselves up into the life support system and the VR program is running, both mental and physical fatigue may occur if prematurely removed.
VR program?
Hey, Alkali, you might be right. They might actually be.
I don't know.
We definitely
Artemis.
can't touch these.
Can you explain the VR program?
VR program is set to the volunteer's specific request.
Their specific request.
It says that Artemis said that they would be fatigued. That's just tired, right? Doesn't mean they will die, does it?
It depends. I have seen many men be on the brink of death by pushing themselves far beyond their limits.
Wait.
Some.
Artemis, when did the volunteers last enter these pods?
Most recent volunteer was 10 years ago in Pod 1.
Artemis,
There's
which volunteer has been in these pods the longest, and how long have they been in there?
Current status of oldest volunteer entered 135 years ago.
Just to clarify, Dan, how long ago has it been since the plague?
You're not sure. A long time ago.
In terms of like history that we would be able to have like recorded, right? Like everyday common knowledge. How long have, for example, like the Nora been around, and how long have the Karja, you know, things like that?
If I am not mistaken, I think it was like 200 to 300 years of pretty common. It's something around that 200 to 300 years of history.
These are not the old ones.
What?
They're not the old ones. Wait.
Well, they're pretty old, don't you think?
Well, absolutely.
135 years in a pod, trapped.
They may be old, but I don't think that's all.
Regardless, though, they have to have some sort of knowledge if they were able to get into a pod. No?
Unless they've been doing this for that long.
Yes. We've seen it ourselves, Manasa. We walked into the city. We could not believe it. These are not common Banuk. They have been nurtured to this. The common practices, the machines that they become
They're
one with.
extremely dependent on it.
As angry as I am, we cannot disturb this without answers. And the ones that we should be asking are the ones that are living, breathing in front of us that can actually communicate.
Do you honestly think that they're going to say anything?
They better. Because I don't know if you
For
know this.
what?
I have
They're
never
going
seen.
for what? We're going to kill them all. Every last one of them.
Not us. Mikhail. I don't know if you've seen his face, but I have never seen him so disturbed before. He is not thinking rationally.
He has seen war. He has seen battle. But one man against a whole tribe.
They said they are not warriors, and he is a warrior.
Zaire, do you hear yourself right now? One Nora against a whole tribe of Banuk.
He said he's going to talk to their leader
and fed.
alone.
Do you think that he's really going to say anything? He has hid so much from us. All the way until he dropped us off here. You don't think that I tried to get any information out of him?
In your very charming way. But we do not know what Nakel, a trained Nora, that has been through so much, that has been so calm this whole time. When I look into a man's eyes that have seen so much war and battles that we have, those eyes have one thing on their mind, not his answers. And if he does not get those answers,
Then what? He's going to kill him.
I have no idea, but we had to make a decision right now what we want to do. We sent MK after him, but he didn't even discuss with us. He's normally very much, I think, what we should do. How can I? What do we do? Do we leave him like this? Let them continue this, go talk to them, or do we find out where this thermal bobbage is?
There are two options. Either we stop this and we tell all the people exactly what is happening and possibly screw them all by disabling this facility somehow, or by letting these people out of the pods. Or we find out what this geothermal power thing is and we fix it somehow.
Where is it?
Artemis, what is the location of the geothermal power?
Geothermal power reactor is located 200 feet below this facility.
How do we access it?
Elevator in maintenance.
That requires us to go deeper.
Yes, it
And
does.
we do not have Nikhil with us or MK.
It's not like he can easily get back. We did have to trek quite a bit.
So what are you saying, Manasa? We go get him?
Yes, I'm saying we go get him. We're better together than we are separated.
I agree. But I want to let you in on a secret. There's actually no secret. As much as I do not want to admit. He is fast. He is cunning. He is athletic. I have ran against this man. I am no slow one. He was running out of here. We have a lot of ground to make up, so I suggest we get moving now and we find who is faster than him.
Zaire, I have been traveling with Nikhil longer than you have. I know how fast he can be.
This isn't a contest.
Never said it was.
Then don't act like it is one.
And that's where we'll take our break for the moment, because we're running. We're late for that. So, all of y'all will take a 3 to 5 minute quick break. Go pee, go wash your piss mittens, grab a snack real quick, go stretch if you've been clenching far too long during these scenes. And yeah, we'll be right back. Go ahead and check out all those awesome links for these wonderful casters. Go ahead and check out the really awesome affiliate program we have with Monty Cook Games, the creators of the Cypher System, which we use a modified version of for this show. And are you going to be playing a certain trailer for a show that's premiering this Friday with Whack as a GM? And I think there's another player on this show on that Friday. I think I've heard that rumor.
Yeah, some cool dude. I don't know.
Some really cool dude. So go check out that, watch that trailer, and we will be right back. Don't touch that dial if you still happen to have dials for things you watch.
Find your old-timey dial now. We'll be back in just a little bit. Hang tight.
We return to Nikhil running out of the facility. I'm going to need you to give me a few rolls to determine how easily you do some of this stuff, of course. So if you could give me a speed check for you just sprinting out here, as well as a second speed check on getting around obstacles like the crevasse. Because I'm curious, would you stop and slow when you hit that, or would you try to just run across that bridge that was put in place?
Just run across the bridge.
Any care? Okay.
What's
so
the
speed check in
difficulty?
general.
I have
difficulty
running.
2.
I have running.
Okay. Just difficulty 2 for running. This is one of your skill sets. Yeah, I mean, that shouldn't be that surprising. And then a speed check for, I'd say a balance check of difficulty 3.
Gonna put an effort in.
Ooh, okay. I'll need you to give me a speed defense roll, and then we'll work through the narrative once you do that. Also of 3. Okay. We see Nikel after his outburst, wanting to go and find Dorkrick and confront him, leave the maintenance room where the rest of the party was, and pass by the pods once again, knowing better what they actually are, or at least what he's interpreted it as, and continues to sprint out of the room into the room with the crevasse. Seeing the bridge, maybe not even caring for it, just starts sprinting towards it, trying to get across, and slips. But then catches the edge on the other side with a bit of a leap, and is able to pull himself up and continue to run. You'll take 3 damage to your speed for that. And passing through each chamber in a blur, seemingly struggling with something. Nikel, remember, anger is the tree that bears no fruit.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Stay your hand. Think.
It doesn't matter.
The All-Mother protects us. Lean on her will. Let her guide you.
No.
She knows what's best for us.
This is not the All-Mother. No.
She protects us all.
It doesn't protect them. She doesn't protect them. She didn't protect Mother.
You're brave now. It's your job to protect.
I can protect. I can protect them. I can protect them.
Nikel bursts into the volunteer room.
Welcome, volunteers. Please step forward on the dotted line.
I take aim. I take aim with my sharp shot bow at whatever I perceive to make this sound, and I fire.
Take your PDA. Board's upgrade is current tech software.
Please give me an attack roll of difficulty 3. As he sprints and lets an arrow fly. It goes through the hologram that has appeared that he saw before and lodges itself in the wall as he's running.
I run past everything. I feel the lactic acid building up in my legs and burning. And I just try to push it all down.
Continuing to sprint into the long hallway with all the seeds. So many different varieties of potential food.
I think that I throw a trap the at one of the food processors. I throw my blast trap. I just throw it. I don't set
Okay.
it.
Go ahead and give me an int check of 2. Okay. Any particular one you were aiming at? Only one was functioning at the time.
I'll roll for it.
Okay.
I don't think I'd understand the difference right now.
Sure. There are 4, so you can give me a d4. 1 is the one that is on. Okay. It hits the very back one that is off and erupts in a small but concentrated explosion. And you continue to run and make it to the door that was shut behind you by Door Crick as you entered the facility.
Try to open it as quickly as I can, forcing it.
Okay. How are you going to force it? Hands, weapon, tool?
I jab my spear in.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an attack roll of difficulty 5.
Putting an effort in.
Okay.
19.
19. That's a minor effect as well. We see Nikel sprinting here, and maybe in the distance behind you, you can hear MK's voice echoing, calling out. Nikel! Nikel!
I ignore her.
And we see Nikel charging this door and jumping at it with his spear to lodge it into the hinge that is here and breaking the hinge, at least one of them, and the door creaks and seems to have most of its structural integrity at that hinge broken.
I'm just trying
And
to
then-
force it down.
Shoulders his way through with the door flying open. And you
Burst
see a
forth.
few people look up. The ones that were manning the plants and planters of the large room with what looked like maybe it was a fountain or something in the center.
Where is Door Crick?
He left. He left
Where?
to the village. Like they
I
look,
rush off.
and we'll go back to the other party for the moment as he bursts out through the waterfall.
So what do we do?
We go after Nikel. That's what you got. That's what you want to do, right?
Yeah. Nasa?
Oh. I do want to go after Nikel, but at the same time, I feel like I want to find where that fuel room is.
I I agree. We should look
What?
for this. We should look for this geothermal source of power, fuel, whatever it is.
But that makes sure that this facility keeps running is the point I need to drive home.
I did not say anything about fixing it. I said we need to. I was agreeing to find it.
It's not our place. As perverted and disgusting these revelations have become, it's not our place. We don't get to choose what these people want to do and what they want to believe in.
You're saying two things, I feel. Then we leave. We act like we never seen it. But when you sleep at night, I'm pretty sure you will see it. And if you're okay with that, let's go.
You wanted to open the pods before. What's changed?
I want to open the pods. If we go to the fuel cell, whatever room, geo thing, maybe we can turn the power on and open one. What I don't agree with is completely destroying this place. We seek out our curiosities, and then we can move on from there.
So do you want me to have Artemis open up one of the pods with a person in it?
If they remain alive, it would be helpful. If we destroy this place, we are possibly killing hundreds, if not thousands, of people. Thousands, I speak as in generations.
They're only sustaining themselves by sacrificing people to rot in that fucking pod.
And that may be true, but they are volunteering, so both arguments are fair.
You
They don't even know what they're volunteering for.
Then if we tell them, then what? If we tell them what they are doing, that they are literally volunteering to kill themselves so that they can feed off of their volunteer, then what? If they are still okay with it, will you leave it alone?
It seemed like they knew when Manasa asked. He was very willing, it seemed.
He knew. I saw
What do we do about him? Do we just leave him here? This almost looks like it's...
We respect his wishes.
It just makes so much sense. This room isn't made for our kind. He's just out in the open, laying down like an animal. No telling what Nikel's gonna do. We need to make a decision, and we need to make one very fast.
No.
If we tell them what we find, and we confront them about it, and they're okay with it, then what? We just leave it alone and walk away?
I guess we'll find out soon enough.
I'm just curious how Alkali thinks this is going to end.
We don't have any good options, do we?
No, we don't. You think I like making this choice? Do you think I am happy with the circumstances we are in? You are gravely mistaken.
You're not the one who has to decide if I open up one of those pods.
Then don't. But not making a choice is a choice. Remember that.
I want everybody to really sit and think for a second. We happened upon this place. Akala, I am angry beyond I can even fathom, but if we did not come here, this would have been around for another 15 years at least. I hate to say it, but Manasseh's thinking is quite right. We should not disturb something that has been in practice for hundreds of years. They have not done anyone wrong here. These people have volunteered their life source. They have volunteered. I understand where you're coming from, but they are willingly laying themselves down here because they think, and yes, you are right, they think they are doing it for something much bigger than what it really is. But sometimes that's all people need to go off of. I think in my sleep, my dreams, when I close my eyes, they talk to me. They guide me. And you know, I found you. All circumstances may not have been perfect, but I am standing here in front of you now. We have been through many together. I consider you close. He kind of looks at Manasa and looks away. And I care. So, if it were you up there, oh yeah, absolutely. Destroy this whole place. But these people have a family. They have found their way. And they have been willing. And no matter what we think is morally right or wrong, the decision that we make here, we have to live with that on our hands and our conscience for as long as we breathe. And I do not think you want to be that heavy on this subject right now. The best thing to probably do is to walk out of this facility. Find Nikhil. Make sure Nikhil is thinking rationally here. And then decide on what to do. We can refuse to fix this because we are not interfering with what we weren't meant to be here for.
You're right. They're gonna want something. We were given the condition that we fix this place. What happens if we don't?
We did not.
We break our deal, and if I have any experience in that, especially with people we don't know and can't trust, doesn't end very well.
Well, wait a minute. We did not say we would successfully fix it. We said we will come here to try to fix it. Upon our findings, it was beyond what we could do. We go back, give them a report. I feel like we've handed our side of the deal.
Zaire, you're forgetting one important thing. And that thing is not here with us and is probably already out of the facility. Nikhil
Yes.
is compromised. Notice how when we were with the pods, I wanted to open one and he said no, not to disturb it. We didn't have the right to disturb something that they found sacred, but yet we find all of this and then all of a sudden all of that goes out of the way.
It may have been personal. We have to get Nikhil. It's the only right way. We have to go, and we have to go now.
All right. All right, let's go.
Agreed.
Let's pick up the stride.
So, you three head out in trail. If I just made sure I understood that, you're heading out to find Nikhil now. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we're probably leaving, like running on our way out.
Okay. And there are no obstructions outside of the crevasse. Are you trying to sprint more or less blindly across, or are you hoping to? Are you going to take your time with this?
I'm going to take my time.
I'm going to secure. Are you talking about the bridge?
Yeah.
I'm going to try to secure it with as much as my strength can handle so they can get across first.
For sure. So I will say, as you leave the maintenance room and you leave the Banuk man in the corner plugged into that machine, and you step away from the console, Alkali, the AI melds back in and blue orb reconstitutes itself light-wise. And then you run out and back through the pod room, seeing all of the ones that are still on and untouched, and make your way back into the room with the crevasse and your bridge. You're trying to secure that, Zardy, so why don't you go ahead and give me difficulty 1 strength check.
Ow.
All right. You are there securing it as best you can. Those of you going first, go ahead and give me a difficulty 2 balance check. Manasa crosses first with no difficulties, and so does Alkali. Zaddy, you go next. Go ahead and give me a difficulty 3 balance check.
Balance check. Is that one of the things we have?
If you happen to have a balance skill, it could be. Otherwise, it is just a speed.
I have an endurance.
No, endurance is not a. That's a special ability, not a skill.
Yeah, I think I'll wait. You said it was you said not a skill.
Speed. It is, yeah. So you'd have to do a speed-based skill if you think you have one that works for balance. Otherwise, it is just a regular difficulty 3.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, 19. The minor effect cancels out the fact that you may not have secured this as well as you thought you did when you were holding it for them. So you have no problems crossing this. And you continue to jog through, making your way back into the maintenance room where you had seen pools and whatnot. The one that you came through, the vent, which Mikkel would have sprinted, dove in, and climbed through it to get back into the volunteer room. And the 3 of you jump back up and climb in and plop yourselves one by one back into the volunteer room. And continue running? Running, I'm assuming, yes?
Yeah.
It's a mispress.
Yep.
Welcome, volunteers. Please step up on the dotted line for your Ferrotech PDA upgrade. Thank you for your service. Your volunteering helps the predator.
Anxiety kind of like stops a little bit and looks back. What's going through his head is he feels like he should have done something to it, but he just keeps running in urgency.
And running through, and you make your way into the 3D printing room. The printing of the meat still working. One of them is smoking in the back. Looks like it maybe exploded or something. And then running through, if you continue, you would see the long hallway of seeds. And you would see a door at the very end broken open.
As we're running, I want to make sure that, like, I say this before we actually go out in public, but I'm going to yell, "No one tell them how we got through there."
Fair enough. No, Zaire's gonna see the door being busted open. We have to hurry. And he picks up some speed. And but are we going? Okay, yeah. Once we get to the next room, I'll ask.
Sure. If you run through that room, you would run into the entrance foyer that had that fountain in the center, as well as all the people at the cases of plants that are being grown. There's hushed talking amongst them. They're not actually at their stations right now, but they're looking a little confused and talking amongst themselves.
Where is he?
Dordrick. Yes.
Dorkrick. Oh God. One of you ran through asking. He's back in the village.
Thank you.
Please don't hurt us.
We're not going to hurt you. We have no reason to.
He seems so angry.
Anxiety just flies after
Disregard
him.
that as he's like saying, I'm saying, trying to calm them down. Like, please, just go about your business. Does not concern you.
They don't look so sure, but don't stop you in any way as you continue all to sprint out. You make your way out of the waterfall back to that pristine, beautiful oasis with a lot of plots of food and farmers working. So maybe the few of them also look a little confused.
I think we just need to follow the stairs at this point.
And he continues sprinting, running back over the sand once you pass this oasis, getting back into the old one's Fall City. And the gate is there, and you see Inke standing by the gate, maybe waiting, looking also a little winded. And she just kind of points like up ahead, trying to catch her breath. The gate's open, and the guards are, well, one of them is still there, but also looking a little bewildered.
Do we have any visual on Nikel at the moment?
You can go ahead and give me a, I'd say difficulty 4 perception check, since he had quite a bit of lead. Okay. From mention of what Zaerdi said, follow the stairs, not the, like a terrace platform, but rather people. And sure enough, you see maybe the crowd is parted a little bit from like people that maybe have moved away from possibly someone running through and yelling or whatnot.
Over there.
Right. So Zaddy just picks up the pace and he's scanning the ground, looking for blood, looking for any kind of signs of combat or anything of that nature. Nikel! Nikel!
As you're running through the town, you would see what looks like a crowd surrounding the orb in the center of the town.
Oh no. Manasa. Algalai.
I see it.
As you run up and push your way through the crowd, you would see Dorkrick being held by the throat up against the orb, with Nikel standing there below him, lifting him up a couple feet off the ground.
Nikel, no!
What do you know of this place?
Nikel!
What do you know of this place?
Down. Nikel!
You only hear choking sounds from Dorkrick as he is standing there, trying desperately to hold on to his spear and push himself up off the ground
Zaire!
to give him air.
On it.
Grab him.
He runs as fast as he can and tries to grab Nikel.
You will tell me what you know of this place.
Nikel! I go to attempt to grab. Not like forcefully trying to hurt him, but just trying to control him and get him and putting pressure on his arm to release a little bit of pressure.
I look back and you'd see a look of pure fury in my face with tears streaming down my eyes.
No, this isn't the way, brother. Please listen. There's a better way. We have figured some things out.
I'm going to run up
We
to
have
him.
to talk.
Dorkrick kicks a
Nikel?
little bit.
He can't answer you if you are strangling the life out of him. Let go!
Let's hear him out. Listen to me. We make our decisions with thinking. Depending on Nikel's next move is what Zaid going to do.
Can I make a roll of some kind? Or can they make a roll of some kind to see if they get through?
You can absolutely, if you'd like. We can make this a contested roll if that would help.
Sure.
Zaidi, you're the one I think that is trying to reason with him as best you can. So why don't you both give me? I'd say Zaidi, you can go on int. Nikel, I'd say you go on might for this, and just give me a difficulty 0 roll. Whoever gets highest. That is a nat 20, a major effect.
Oh, that dude dead.
I would like to do a player intrusion.
All right. What are you trying to do?
I know it's not going to completely. I know it's not going to reverse his roll 20. I'm going to use the ability I used earlier. I'm going to use familiar insight to get through to him, or attempt to get through to him. Let me.
So you spend XP. Yep. And you are trying to. You know this person well enough to give insight to their motives or intentions, and you know how best to convince them to see your way of things, whether that's you emotionally manipulate them, or you posture, use the right words. So
Nikel.
I'll let this do that, but the major effect for you, Nikel, at least, is if you chose to do, you could very easily, 1, lift up Dorkrick and break his neck with a squeeze, or you could shove Zaidi back with no problem whatsoever. Even if he were to resist, you could easily just kind of shove him to the ground with one hand in a fit of adrenaline.
I think when you reach out for me, Zairi, I probably use my other hand and I probably step into you and throw you to the ground.
Okay. Yeah, it works as he wasn't expecting it.
Yeah. You're taken by surprise. With a thud hit the ground.
Manasa!
Nikel. Nikel, look at me. Is this really what you want to do?
He knows something.
Do you think killing him is going to fix this? Do you think you're going to get answers once you kill him? Do you think Alloy would approve of this? Do you think if she was in your place, do you think she would kill him right now? Do you think the All-Mother would be proud of you for killing him right now in front of all of these people?
They have corrupted the All-Mother.
You know in your heart this is wrong. And I agree with you. But shedding more blood is not going to change it. It's not going to fix it. It's going to make things worse. I know a part of you knows this. Do not do this, or you will regret it. Continue to be the Nora warrior I agreed to travel with in the beginning. The brave, strong, dependable Nikel. Not whatever this is. Do not allow your anger to lash out. That's not what the All-Mother would want. And you know this.
Anger is the tree that bears no fruit, Nickel.
Zadie kind of stands up. Just places a hand on his back. Motions Akalai over.
I would walk over. Mikkel.
Let Dorkrick go.
He hits the ground with a thud and chokes and coughs. And that's where we'll end the episode.
Whew. That was stressful. This is why it's important, chat, to make sure you let people know about D&D and storytelling and all this stuff.
I'm
Simple
fine.
as that.
I'm fine.
All people worry about that.
It's acting. It's acting.
It is. That was so good.
Well, let's do our end of session and shout outs for all these wonderful RPers today. Well done, everybody. So, why don't we let's start with little Whack Steven.
Hi,
After all
everybody.
that.
I'm Wax Steven. Normally, I'm the GM of Doom, but starting on Friday, I get to be the DM of Doom again because we're starting a new show called Rime of the Frost Maiden. I'm super excited about it, and the wonderful Technique will be joining me on the show. It's going to be super good. I'm really, really, really hyped. We've got some wonderful characters. We've got a wonderful module that we're playing. And I'm really excited to get to play some D&D 5th edition again, because it's been a while, and DM some because it's been even longer. So I'm really hyped to get back into it, and the characters and everything that everybody's made. It's so good, so good, so hyped. But yeah, this is acting, folks. This is all acting. Don't worry about me. I'm good.
I can think of as Futurama's Cellutron. Phenomenal acting talent.
Yeah, I'm good. But this was really great. I thought everyone did super well today, so great job, everybody. As far as my end of session stuff goes,
Yes.
giving another player XP. This is tough. I'm a little torn as to what to do for this one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna roll a die.
Cast the die.
Okay, I'm gonna give this to Manasa.
Hey.
XP to Manasa.
Thank you.
And player
For
intrusions.
bringing me back. And I think I'm gonna do a recovery roll. No, we'll do an extra XP. Extra XP.
Experience.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's an advancement.
Yeah!
Tier 2.
No, it's I need one more for
Ooh.
the complete tier 2.
Yo, I got some news. Keep going.
No, you give your news on your timing, all right,
Yeah.
mister?
Yeah. So yeah, thank you everybody. Thank you, Dan. That was a great session. I'm here. I run this channel with some other wonderful people named Pumpkinberry and Brad Wodo.
That's what he does.
That's what I do.
Thank you, Whack. Let's go with Kat. And a session fun, and who you are, and where they can find you.
Hello. I'm Kat, and I played Manasa, your favorite Loot Goblin, and also apparently very sensible and wise advice giver at times.
Let's not go that far. Let's not go that far, sweetheart.
At times. Man, this episode was absolutely crazy. I loved it. Clenching my butt the whole entire time. Oh my gosh. I really wish that Bloody was here, and so was Millie, but I hope that both of them are starting to feel better. We love you guys. We love you and miss you. But yeah, you guys can find me on Twitch. I'm Kat, and I am a emote artist, illustrator, and I also play a variety of games. Currently, I've been playing Among Us and Phasmophobia. Yes, it's a very spooky time. I'm going to give an XP to. Ooh, this one's tough too. Man, too bad I can't give an XP to the dead guy, huh?
He probably could use it, honestly.
Probably could use it right now.
He wasn't dead.
I'm going to give one to Zairi this time. It doesn't mean that Zairi and Manasa are on good terms. However, she did appreciate him seeing reason while we were back over at the console and, explaining it to Alkali. So she did appreciate that.
Thank you.
Does not mean we're besties yet.
Okay.
Still got a long way for that. And then I'm also going to take a recovery roll.
Okay. Go for it.
Yeah. Or my might, because...
Good roll.
Okay, perfect.
6 points back to distribute as you wish. Thank you very much, Kat.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Faye.
Hi, I'm Phelan, and I hope everybody had a good time today because it was crazy what the fuck happened. But I played Alkali for you guys today. I am a broadcaster as well on Twitch. You can catch me on my stream. It's just Phelan, 5 days a week normally, sometimes more, sometimes less. It is what it is. But as for end of session, I am going to go ahead and gift an experience to Zairi. Because I felt more like he was talking, like in the perspective of Alkali, I felt like he was more so talking to rather than Manasa talking at Alkali. And that is more of the approach that actually gets through to her. So an experience to him, and I'm going to take an experience as well.
Okay. Tech. I misspoke slightly there and it didn't go through. Tech.
Oh no, I heard it.
Oh, you did? Okay. I was like, I barely heard it
Getting
myself.
used to that robot burp burp noise. I feel in the blink. I'm Technique, and I stream on Twitch 6, sometimes 7, sometimes 5, depending on if I can hold up or not. But I do a lot of streaming with other broadcasters as well. I'm starting to try to do something new, and that way when things go back to normal, you'll be able to still enjoy each other instead of making promises and not doing it. And I stream with pretty much like Phelan and Kat has been on these shows, hopefully Dan one day and hopefully Wag one day. So but on top of that, as you heard, I will be playing a character in Wax Hell, and that saying when hell freeze over type thing, I should say. But I'm very excited, and I can't wait to do that. And for my end of session, I'm gonna give an experience to again, this is hard because the interactions were like insane today. Now I'm gonna go with Nikel because Zaidi felt that anger and Nikel stopped Zaidi from just making a move and destroying everything, made him think, and that got him going on thinking a lot more. So it was more of a connection mentally, being like kind of like not in sync, but just a mental connection, knowing that in the past Zaidi would have just raged and went in there recklessly and just done whatever he would have done and made things worse, as Manasa pointed out before, which would have pissed him off even more. So he thought he was able to talk through and fix out an argument that was happening there, and just because he couldn't get through to Nikel, at least he was able to put a pause in between it to where Manasa could take over, and the trust between the group that was a bonding moment. So long explanation, but that's what he felt. And I will be tearing up, going up a tier. So this is really cool. I have 5 experience and I needed 1 more full level, and we'll be going up to tier 2. Am I right? Yes. Right.
Aw, snap.
Yeah, that's great. All right, for that, let me look at my other options in the session. Where to go? Good Lord. I feel like when I open up like separate windows in here, they disappear if you don't. Oh, there it is. Okay. Let's see. Recovery roll is so needed right now. Like, god dang, but I feel like it's a waste. Yeah, I really need that recovery roll. Like, I'm going on wind right now. Yeah, I'll do that. So do I just hit the recovery button, or?
Yep, you just did.
Okay.
So you can get a free recovery with this. Whack already did it if you missed it. For Nikel, he used not a free one, but his main free action one.
I think
So
I'm on
he
a
did
10 minute.
that. He spent that, but the free one is in addition to everything else. So it doesn't consume it if you choose that.
Okay.
So
I'm gonna go with the full recovery. I've been dipping this time.
it's not a full recovery, but you do get to make a free roll.
A reroll.
So you just hit
I
that
see.
roll.
I see what you're saying. It's like double
Yep.
dipping almost, right?
Exactly. You get a free one without having to
Okay,
worry about time.
Cool. All right, this will be my free one then, I guess, and it'll go up to
Okay.
an hour after this.
It won't because it's free.
Oh, god dang it! I'm not used to free. All right.
And you
Okay,
maxed
where-
it out.
Another
7
max.
points.
Wow.
Yeah, that was almost 3 maxes in a row.
Lord, I
For
must
recovery
be
rolls.
magical. You know, I've been
So, yeah.
watching the Harry Potter, the Wizardry show that you guys been putting on Whack, and maybe that's been coming in my life a little bit, man, with these rolls.
Maybe. Very nice. Well, thank you, Tech.
Thank you.
You can follow all these lovely, lovely people on their own channels. Please do. If you happen to have maybe a little spare Twitch Prime, feel free to toss it their way, because supporting them helps them be willing to take time out of their normal stream schedule to be here, which I very much appreciate of them. And I have been your GM of Consequences today, Domestic Dan. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. Again, we miss you, Bloody. We miss you, Millie. But we know you're doing what you got to do to keep yourselves healthy and safe. And that is more important than RP. Really, it is. So we love and support all of you, even if you're not here. Yeah, you can find me here on Gone on Wednesdays, which is, I know PB's already said it. We have 2 more episodes left. It's very close to the end. So if you're trying to catch up to watch it live, I would suggest doing that with the little amount of time you have left.
Oh, I gotta binge watch it to catch up. I'm
That
behind.
you do. That you do. And also, as Whack has mentioned earlier, we have the premiere show on Friday here.
It's a big week. It's a
Big week. There's a lot going on, so please tune into that as well. We've got Whack as the GM and Technique as one of the players, and so it's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so good. So, with all of that, thank you so much for being here. Again, you can check out Patreon to support the show for awesome extra things like one-shots, and there's a lot of really cool stuff that you can do with that. But all in all, we just are glad that you tune in every week to this and many other shows and support us and let us know that you like what we do. So that's all I got. Thank you very much and have a great rest of your Monday.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye. Dorcrick, I believe we need to have a talk.